Thunder jolted me awake as it boomed through the open window of my wife and I's bedroom, like overhead bombers dropping loads of ordnance over our house. My wife, Holly, and I sat up at the same time, taken aback by the monstrous clap of thunder. Not 30 seconds later, our 5-year-old daughter, Megan, nearly knocked the door off of its hinges as she busted into our bedroom like a SWAT team and into our bed, hiding herself under the covers. "Mommy, Daddy, I'm scared," Megan said shakily from underneath the covers. "It's okay, baby girl. It's just a little storm. It'll pass soon," my wife said calmly. "Yeah, honey. It'll be..." I was cut off as another monstrous clap of thunder, much louder than the last, shook the house. Megan screamed from under the covers. "Daddy, make it stop." I got up to go to the window to take a look outside. To my surprise, there was no wind, no rain, no anything. Just the lightning illuminating the stormy night sky and the thunder to follow. "Honey, turn on the TV and check the weather. See if we have any watches or warnings out." Here in our little hole-in-the-wall town in the middle of Kansas, during tornado season, it's really not uncommon to have such watches and warnings all the time. Holly turned on the TV and was met by the emergency broadcasting screen and the loud, annoying tone that usually accompanies it. After the tone ended a few moments later, an actual person's voice spoke. This struck us as odd, as my wife and I had always heard some automated system speaking to us more times than we could count growing up here. "This is Dr. Marcus Johnson, head meteorologist here at the National Weather Service. I ask everyone hearing my voice, if you have a cellar or a basement, please make your way there now as quickly as possible. If you do not have either, make your way to the lowest part of your house and hide. There are strange storms popping up all over the U.S. and The sudden loss of power to the house cut him off, followed by another monstrous boom of thunder even louder than the last. "We should probably get to the cellar out back," my wife said with a little fear in her voice. "It's getting louder and whatever's coming could be here any minute." I was frozen, staring at the now empty screen of the TV. "Honey, did you hear me?" Holly yelled at me, snapping me out of my trance. "Yeah, sorry, honey, I was looking and thinking about what Dr. Marcus had said." "What about what he said?" She asked me, confused. "He said to hide from the storm. It's an odd choice of words to use, don't you think?" I asked. "A little, but we should listen to what he said regardless and get to the cellar now. Grab Megan, and we'll head down to the cellar out back. I'll grab some provisions from the kitchen just in case we're down there for a good while." I slip on my boots, walk over to the bed, and grab Megan from underneath the blankets. Holly is already downstairs, packing food and bottled water in a small box. I walk by her in the kitchen when, without warning, another loud clap of thunder struck and blew both the back and the front doors off of their hinges, sending splintering shards of the door frame flying. I turned Megan away from the debris of the back door and took a few splinters of the door frame to the back. "God damn it!" I shouted as the pain set in of being struck by the wooden fragments. "Holy shit, is Megan okay? Is she okay? Is she okay?" My wife asks, concerningly. I pry Megan back from my chest and inspect her head to toe. "She's fine. How many pieces hit me, and can you please get them out? This shit hurts like a motherfucker." Holly runs over to me and inspects my back. 3 that I can see. 2 in the top right of your shoulder and 1 in the bottom right of your back. She pulled the first top 2 out, me swearing every inch of the way. They were at least embedded in me 2 to 3 inches, she said. She went to yank the third out when the tornado sirens in the town started to blare. Being roughly 7 miles from town out in the country, we could hear the sirens as if we were standing right next to them. The city really went all out on their warning system, but then again, living in Tornado Alley, they really couldn't afford not to. "Is that the... Jesus, tap dancing Christ!" I yelled as she ripped the last piece of the door frame from my back without warning. I could feel my back getting warmer, which I knew was the blood running down from the wound. We made our way out the back door, me leaving a trail of blood as I ran. We get to the cellar and I hand Megan to Holly, so that I could lift this behemoth of a cellar door open. As I bend down to grip the handle, everything goes quiet. The wind folding the trees over, the reverberations from the thunder could be felt, but nothing could be heard. I tried to shout to Holly, but my words fell on deaf ears as she could not hear me, and I could not even hear the words as I spoke them. In that silent moment, we saw lightning strike a few hundred yards in a field from us. It was just one at first, then two, then three. And then the sky over the field became an almost solid sheet of blue. What was below it was more concerning. We could see the tornado. It was massive. I'd say at least an F3, maybe an F4. So I started to lift the cellar door. Everything stopped as quickly as it had started. No wind, no lightning, no thunder, nothing. Sound, however, did return, and I turned to Holly, asked, "What in the actual fuck is going on?" She looked as confused as I don't know, but I don't like... She was cut off by another earthquaking roll of thunder. The sound waves from it kicked up dirt all around us and sent trees flying, knocking us all to the ground. A few seconds pass. Holly manages to stand back up. Megan, weighing me down and crying hysterically, prevents me from getting up. As soon as Holly stands upright, something glides down from the sky and lands right in front of her. We all stare in shock as we notice this. This thing has wings, spanning at least 8 feet in width, and the figure itself stands roughly 5 feet tall on all fours. It raises its head and stares at Holly with its glowing red piercing eyes. "What the fuck is this?" Holly exclaims with fear and panic in her voice. She tries to move around it, to close the distance between herself and us. Every attempt has failed, as the creature matches her every movement like a mirror, blocking her path from us and the safety of the shelter. It stands up, making it roughly 9 to 10 feet tall. This thing was monstrous in size. It takes a weird bracing stance as if it's about to be struck by something heavy. It rears its head back and then shoots forward, creating a blast of shockwaves like the thunder that we've been hearing all night. This was a small one in comparison to the ones we've heard thus far, but it was enough to launch Holly into the air and towards the oncoming tornado. This thing wasted no time closing the distance between it and her as it launches itself into the air, flying towards her. It grabs her while she's in the air and flies off towards the tornado. Looking at the tornado now, something seems different. It's glowing red, with what I can only assume to be thousands upon thousands of glowing red eyes piercing through my every being. It was the form of a tornado, but it was really thousands of these creatures, flying in circles, destroying everyone and everything in their paths. I snap out of my trance and focus my attention to Megan, who seems to have blacked out. I get up, reach for the cellar door, and lift it with all the strength that I have left. The tornado draws nearer at least 100 yards away now. The cellar door is about halfway open, but due to the wind caused by these creatures, I was having a hard time keeping it open. "Megan, wake up, baby girl, wake up," I shout. Megan comes to and enters a full-blown panic mode as she sets eyes for the first time on this red-eyed cyclone that's closing in on us. I tear her off me and stand her on the ground in front of the cellar with one hand as the other one barely holds the door open. "Get inside, honey, quickly," I shout. "I want Mommy. Where's Mommy?" she cries. I knew she was gone, but given the current situation, I couldn't dwell on her passing. That now would be reserved for another time. "She ran back into the house, honey, to get a few things. She wanted us to go ahead and get into the cellar to be safe. She'll be here soon." With that, Megan ran into the cellar and left me holding onto the cellar door. I positioned my body to drop into the cellar as to let the door push me the rest of the way as it fell. Right before I let go of the door, one of the beasts landed 10 feet in front of me. Its landing shook the very earth beneath my feet and caught me off guard as my knees started to buckle. It looked dead at me, reared its head back. I knew what was coming next, but I didn't have time to brace for it. It bellowed a thunderous wave at me, sending me flying into the cellar and against the wall, knocking me out cold. I awoke sometime later, head throbbing from the impact of the cellar wall. I guess my moving around in painful groans startled Megan. "Daddy, you're okay," Megan exclaimed, wrapping me in a hug. In my dazed and confused state, I forgot about everything that had happened, and in an instant panic set in as I remembered back to everything that has occurred. The door. Lock the door, I yelled to Megan. It's okay, Daddy. Mommy locked it when she came back from the house. I was taken aback. That was impossible. I saw her being launched like a missile into the air and carried away by that creature. Honey, where is Mommy now? I asked with a shaking voice. It was pitch black down here, so much in fact that you couldn't see anything within an inch of your face. I'm right here, honey, said Holly, peering at me with those same red eyes the creature had. I heard the latch on the door click open, and a little light shone through as Holly lifted the cellar door open. I grabbed Megan and huddled in the corner, staring in fright at the woman who used to be my wife. She threw the door open with relative ease and turned back to us as the creatures huddled closer to the entrance on the outside. It's a lovely night out here. There's no need to waste it hiding in a cellar.